Hello and welcome back to my channel where I'm reviewing another military dog movie, this time cleverly titled Dog. To be fair, the dog's name is Lulu, and I'm not sure how many people would have seen Lulu, but they did go and see a film called Max. So, don't count your audience so short, guys. I'm sure Lulu would have done just as well. A film called Lulu starring Channing Tatum. I'm John Stark, also known as Mac the Movie Guy from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Dog. I'm a blind film critic. Yep. So I don't judge this movie based on Channing Tatum's looks or how cute the dog is, which I'm sure has factored into many a review or just audience's response to this film. This one did better at the box office than a lot of people thought it would, probably because it feels pretty simple for a film. And that's because it's a pretty simple formula. You just follow it and you put Channing Tatum, who's still actually bankable as a star when in a time when very few people are bankable. You put him into a film, with a dog, and you sell it. And it's probably low budget to begin with. This film doesn't really have a reason to be high budget. And he's a credited director on it, which I thought was interesting. At least in the film credits he is. It was listed off as him and another guy. So this really is like all just Channing Tatum wanting to do a veteran movie where a guy who's out of sorts and kind of wants to go back because he doesn't know what else to do with his life. He's just making sandwiches. We do not do good things for our veterans when they come back. We say we do, but we don't. He's just making sandwiches, and some kid yells at him because he puts cucumbers instead of peppers. He's like, "Dude, are you high?" And then, of course, it's one of those experiences where we're like, of course we feel bad for him, like, of course the kid's a douchebag, but cucumbers and peppers are two totally different things. So I don't know what that was, but the film also goes into things where it wants to appeal to everybody. It wants to have it all. It wants to have people from the far left and the far right come together in a kumbaya moment because they all feel seen and heard. It has a scene where Channing Tatum stumbles into the weirdest fucking bar I've ever seen in my life. I consider myself left of liberal, and this bar was like some weird microbrewery, and people were talking about having virtual drinks where they don't even drink. And like some girl was telling him he had a white savior complex, and that he was just, somebody else was like, "Oh, how does it feel to be just a shill for big oil?" And I was like, oh my God. Of course it's like in Portland. And you're just like, all right, I get it. I get what you're doing. Calm down. Bring it down a notch. Bring it down a notch. But at the same time, you've also got this captain who acts like he's, like really serious about his men, and he's deeply concerned for Channing Tatum's like state of mind. But really all he needs him to do is drive this dog across country, and then he'll sign off and let Channing Tatum go back. And it's like, if you were really that good of a captain and you really cared whether or not Channing Tatum was ready to go back or not, you wouldn't just let him drive a dog across country and then sign off on him to go back. And no, I don't think it was one of those like working in mysterious ways where he was hoping that Channing Tatum would like love the dog and, not want to go back. He just, has no scruples. So the movie's all bullshit. It is what it needs to be, whatever it wants to be, just to make the scene go through. There's a scene where, there's like an MP that's now a police officer, and he's like half bonding with Channing Tatum for a little while, and then he just turns like full on douchebag to him. And he's like, yeah, that's how the Rangers treated me, type of thing. It's just like, All right. Um, anyway, the dog deals with like post-traumatic stress and anxiety and has a lot of issues. And if this dog was acting, this dog deserves an Oscar for dog acting. This dog did a great job. Um, that's all I gotta say about that. The dog gives an actual performance where it's constantly, even me as a blind person through audio description, like I could hear the dog panting and whining, and it was clearly it was doing a really good job of emoting post-traumatic stress, which is really hard when you think about it. That's like a human thing that we've put on ourselves, and dogs don't understand what it is that we're saying when we talk about that kind of thing. I'm sure they experience things like that, but they don't know what we're talking about. So you can't just tell a dog, hey, so your character is going through post-traumatic stress, so you have to, he's been to war, and he's seen a lot of things, he's done a lot of things, and now he can't really deal with where he's at, and he's been heavily medicated, and you can't explain that to a dog. So a dog has to respond to commands, but a dog has to do it in believable ways. So through a combination of amazing editing and, yes, dog acting, this performance actually comes out. And what ends up making this rather simple movie that tries to please everybody work is this chemistry between Channing Tatum and Lulu, this dog. It has some stuff to say. It's, I at first, when he walked in and pretended to be a blind guy, I was like, I'm not cool with this. This is not funny, but he did get in trouble for it. So that was cool. I know that's a spoiler, but, I don't really care. He did get into trouble for it. It's not really one of those films where you go, spoiler alert. It's like, there's no, Channing Tatum is not a ghost the entire movie. So that's a spoiler. Yeah. So when he did that to get a free room, I was like, I have to review this later. I was not having fun times. I was like, oh God, I like Channing Tatum. Why did he have to do this scene? Why is this scene included in here? But luckily he was revealed to be a dick and spent some time in jail for it. So, at least it ended up sending the right message. I wish it never had sent the message, but we got around to the right spot. At least we checked out the right spot before we left. So whatever. Anyway, this is fine. Nobody's going to remember this at the end of the year. Channing Tatum, it's another notch in his belt in terms of him being able to prove that he can carry a film. And if he really truly did direct some of this, then great. I can't wait to see what he does by himself. There's some interesting choices made here. Not all of it. There's some interesting choices made here. I really just thought Lulu carried the film. I thought this was some really terrific dog acting. So, I still soft recommend this. Part of me wants to, if they had left the blind part at being a joke and like haha, look at what we can get away with, would not be giving this film the grade that I'm giving it. But because they showed there were consequences to those actions, and that it's not just all fun and games, and don't just pretend it so you can get a free hotel room, because our lives are not that incredible. Please don't try to pretend to be us just so you can get free shit. I know you were a veteran and you went through some shit, but this is not fun. So it's not a joke for films. Anyway, all that thrown together, I'm still complicated. I don't even know what. I could throw any grade at this film right now, and I may feel a different way. I feel like I'm going to feel different about this film every time I look at it, I'm gonna be like, duh, did I like it more than that? I don't know, but it had that in it. Oh, but you know, um, other days I'll be more angry about the blind thing. Other days I'll be less angry about it. It's just, it is what it is. I'm just gonna go with a B minus for right now. I do think the film is mostly watchable, and I really think that the dog did a great job. So that's my review of Dog. The audio description, yeah, like I said, it really helped flesh out Lulu's performance. So good job on that from the team at Deluxe. Anyway, my website is macmovieguy.com. Let me know what you think in the comments. Throw me a like and a subscribe. And you can go to the audio description project and find out what other movies have audio description and where you can watch them. And the adna.org, that's the adna.org, to find out, what your narrator's been up to. That's it. I'm going to go find another movie to review now. Until next time.